Thank you. Good morning. Thank you all for having been here today. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge some of the people and partner agencies who have been here supportive of my efforts over this past year, including my husband, President Trump. Thank you. Please sit down. Vice President Mike Pence and Mrs. Pence, Cabinet Secretaries Alex Azar, Betsy DeVos, Elaine Chao, Alex Acosta, Robert Wilkie, Stephen Mnuchin, and Acting Secretary Kevin McClellan. Leadership from the Office of the National Drug Control Policy, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, the National Safety Council, the United States Agency for International Development, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and the Office of Management and Budget. I'm grateful for your support. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be here today. I'd also like to recognize some of the organizations that have traveled to be here today and have become true partners with my office. They include the Community Anti-Drug Coalition of America, Students Against Destructive Decisions, Twitter, Nationwide Children's Hospital, Facebook, Nicholas Children Healthcare Foundation, Amazon, Lily's Place, Snap, Google, and Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center, to name a few. There are so many organizations that have worked alongside my office at the past year. On behalf of our grateful nation, I cannot thank you enough for all you are doing on behalf of children. Your work is saving lives and helping children, and I believe there is no greater gift you can give to this country. Thank you. I always said as a mother and First Lady, it concerns me that today's fast-paced and ever-connected world can make children less prepared to express or manage their emotions, causing them to turn to forms of destructive actions such as bullying, unhealthy habits, risky online behavior, drug abuse, and addiction, or even suicide. 1 year ago today, I announced Be Best, an awareness campaign dedicated to the children of this country and all over the world. Be Best has 3 pillars: the well-being of children, online safety, and opioid abuse. And it continues to have one goal, which is to educate children and parents about the issues they face and promote programs and services available to help them with today's challenges. My office has spent the past year listening to and learning from children, parents, medical professionals, teachers, leaders in technology and social media, and many others who have a stake in vital issues that can affect the next generation. In fact, this past year has shown me that children are vulnerable to more than just social media, and I so expanded one of my pillars to online safety. I look forward to using Be Best to promote any digital programs that make online safety and digital citizenship a priority in today's technology-driven world. I have also expanded my focus of the dangers of opioid abuse to include kids of all ages, and will continue to work with partner agencies to highlight and promote the programs and resources available for all who struggle with addiction. Since announcing Be Best, I have visited schools and hospitals and visited 15 states to promote and highlight some of the successful work being done by so many on behalf of children. I have participated in children's events, including speaking engagements focused on one or more of the pillars of Be Best. I have the opportunity to meet with more than 30 foreign diplomats, head of state, of spouses, to exchange ideas on the challenges children are facing all over the world, and have hosted or participated in 18 writing tables and policy briefings. I'm also proud to reconvene the Interagency Working Group on Youth Programs in order to build upon the good work being done by our agencies and the government. I traveled internationally to 9 countries, including my solo trip to Africa, where I partnered with USAID to visit beautiful countries of Ghana, Malawi, Kenya, and Egypt to speak with children about Be Best and also educate myself about the different cultures and challenges with each community. While in Africa, I felt it was important that people throughout the continent and world understand that the United States cares. It is a fact that our own country is safer and stronger when people across the globe have opportunity, when our trading partners are flourishing, when nations around the world can withstand crisis, and when societies are freer and more democratic. I'm thrilled to see the ambassadors of Malawi, Kenya, and Egypt, and the Minister of Embassy of Ghana in attendance. Thank you, each of you, for being here today. The trip was very special to me, and it is something I will never forget. I was heartened to hear that after our visit to Malawi, a member of our advanced team was so moved by the visit and the children in the Chipala Primary School that she started a GoFundMe page on her own time and raised enough money to build a new school classroom for the school. I've seen the pictures of the construction and wanted to make sure that moment that we recognize Carolina Hurley for not only working as a volunteer on the trip, but for understanding and implementing one of the pillars of Be Best to make a true difference in the lives of children. Thank you, Carolina. Please stand up. Thank you. Thank you. I'm also excited to announce that for the first time in history, the United States Agency for International Development has appointed a Be Best ambassador. Ms. Julie Cram was appointed in March and will act as our point of contact for moving Be Best forward with that agency. Thank you for being here today, Julie. Thank you. Thank you. On this one-year anniversary of my initiative, I call on all of our partner agencies to appoint a Be Best ambassador who will serve as a liaison between my office and their respective agency to better highlight and promote the programs and services offered to parents and children on behalf of the US government. I'd now like to take a moment and introduce 3 individuals I have worked with over the past year and who have done tremendous work in not only helping children, but also educating me on how to be better to use my platform to help the next generation. Dr. Francis Collins is director of the National Institute of Health and oversees the work of the largest supporter of biomedical research in the world, spanning the spectrum from basic to clinical research. He is an elected member of the National Academy of Medicine and the National Academy of Sciences, was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in November 2007, and received the National Medal of Science in 2009. We have worked with NIH on several occasions, and I continue to be impressed to their commitment to treating the whole child, both physically and emotionally. Toni Tones-Whitley is the president of the US public sector of Microsoft. She is passionate about leveraging technology to create positive societal and global impact and is one of the leading women in her field. I had an opportunity to visit Microsoft in Washington State in March and was impressed by all they are doing, especially in the area on online safety. Eric Bowling is an anchor and host of America This Week and a 2-time New York Times best-selling author. He is currently on a 15-city tour speaking about the opioid epidemic. In 2017, Eric lost his only child, Eric Chase, to an accidental opioid overdose while attending the University of Colorado. I have worked with Eric on many occasions and greatly admire how he has turned his grief to help children. It is now my honor. It is now my honor to ask Dr. Collins to say a few words, followed by Mrs. Toni Whitley and Eric Bowling.
Thank you very much, First Lady. It's wonderful to see everyone here on this beautiful morning. So happy first birthday, Be Best. As leader of the largest public supporter of medical research in the world, I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to say something about what we can all do to improve the well-being of our children, and the adults too. First, physical well-being. As a doctor, a researcher, a parent, and a grandparent, I know how important physical well-being is to get a child off to the best possible start. One way to do this is to focus on health. Teaching kids not to just sit around and wait to get sick. There's a lot of scientific evidence, and more coming in every day from research at NIH, to back up the disease-preventing powers of being active, eating well, getting enough sleep, exercising your brain, and yes, maintaining a healthy weight. And to make an important and timely point, vaccines are a highly safe and effective line of defense against measles and other infectious diseases. So if you want your kids to be best, do what the president said last week. Get them to get their shots. Yet despite the best prevention methods, illnesses still happen. I'm glad to report that truly innovative treatments are available for a growing number of conditions, with even more advances on the horizon. Take the example of Amani, a teenager with sickle cell disease who presented a necklace to the First Lady during her visit to the NIH Children's Inn on Valentine's Day. I'm very pleased to report that Amani is here with us today after undergoing a bone marrow transplant from his sister aimed at curing his life-threatening disease. He's doing great. Amani, would you stand up, please? And let me ask all the kids and adults who are here from the Children's Inn to raise your hands so we can see who you are right over here. Thank you all for being here. And thank you, First Lady, for the time you've spent with kids and their parents and the staff at the Children's Inn. You have been such an encouragement to all of us. Yes, physical health is certainly critical for well-being, but we all know that total well-being is more complicated than that. Emotional well-being is also key. Experts tell us there's an epidemic of loneliness around us, an epidemic affecting people of all ages, including kids. Given how much time today's kids spend with their screens, you might think social media would be the answer, but research has shown that's not the case. Social media is an inadequate substitute for real-life interactions. I watched the First Lady model the power of in-person caring when she helped Amani and the other kids at the Children's Inn decorate cookies and make cards. That was real-time kindness in action. We need more of that. Last but not least, I firmly believe there's a third component to total well-being, spiritual well-being. In order to live life to the fullest, children and adults should be encouraged to look beyond themselves and what they can see directly in front of them and ponder some really big questions. Questions like, why are we so moved by beauty? What is love really all about? Why do we admire selflessness and personal sacrifice? What is the basis of our commitment to moral behavior? And what, if anything, is the meaning of suffering, which we know will happen to all of us sooner or later? For me, faith provides answers to those eternal questions. My hope is that faith will encourage and provide comfort to others too. So the bottom line, to help every child be their best, we need to cultivate their physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. On behalf of NIH, congratulations to the First Lady on what Be Best has achieved so far. We will be right there alongside you as you move ahead. Thank you very much. And now please welcome Tony Towns-Whitley to the stage.
We're a team up here, and it's hard to follow that one, Dr. Charles. Listen, I'm delighted to be here today and to celebrate the one-year anniversary of Be Best. Thank you so much, Mrs. Trump, for your work to raise awareness and the importance of online safety. Microsoft has been committed to the principles advanced through Be Best, protecting children, teens, and individuals online for the last 2 decades. We take a 3-pronged approach to online child safety. First, creating easy-to-use tools for parents called family settings. These include even an online timer that helps parents manage the amount of time their children spend online. We invest in consumer and customer education and research, and we collaborate with advocates and NGOs and industry partners, as well as governments, to develop solutions and to share our best practices. Look, while we're making progress, there is still so much more we all need to do together to support the next generation. And when I speak of the next generation, as both a mother and grandmother, I get pretty excited when I think about what we can do together. A core component of our online safety work last year included the creation of the Microsoft Council for Digital Good. These are ambassadors, young ambassadors from all over our country, committed to digital civility. And as a culminating event for their work, the council traveled to DC last summer. Imagine their excitement when our First Lady surprised these amazing young people with a visit to our Innovation and Policy Center. The genuine interest Mrs. Trump took in each council member, she listened to their ideas, she viewed their artistic expressions of online safety. It renewed their energy about the importance of the issue that they're working on. I'd like those members for Council for Good, if they're here, could you just stand for a moment so we could recognize these ambassadors? Thank you so much. We were pleased to continue this conversation with the First Lady when she visited our campus, and she had the opportunity to learn more about parental controls, the Xbox Adaptive Controller, and our internet safety resources for families. These demonstrations were followed by a very frank and authentic conversation with our senior executives about online safety. Look, I'd like to once again thank you, Mrs. Trump, for your leadership and focus on shining a spotlight on digital safety and your care and your commitment for the next generation. Microsoft is also pleased to join you in this effort. We remain focused on working and partnering with others to carry this critical message of online safety forward. Thank you. And now it's my pleasure of introducing the third of this trilogy, Eric Bolling.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Tony, and thank you so much, Melania Trump, First Lady, President, Vice President, Cabinet Secretaries, Kellyanne, and what a beautiful group of young people, young, smiling faces. It was Labor Day weekend 2017. It was a beautiful Friday night. My wife and I were driving home. We had a nice dinner. It was about 10:30 at night. My cell rang, and as a parent, your stomach drops. The girl on the line was crying. I don't know why I immediately went there, but I said, Kayla, it was a girl he was dating at University of Colorado, is he still alive? And through her tears, she said no. My wife, Adrian, pulled the car over to the side of the road. When she heard that word, no, she spilled onto the roadway, an active roadway. Eric Chase bought what he thought was a real Xanax tablet on campus, a mistake, no doubt. But it was a Chinese knockoff laced with the deadly fentanyl drug. He died in his sleep. The next day, President Trump called me. He said, Eric, Melania and I are so sorry. We will do what we can to help. That's about all I recall. I was in a deep state of shock. A couple weeks later, it was Thanksgiving. We were headed to the Thanksgiving dinner table. That empty seat was looming ominously. I swear to you, the phone rang as we were approaching the table. It was President Trump and the First Lady calling to send their love and support, knowing that holidays were going to be rough. They were right. Last November, I was asked to tour 15 American cities affected by opioids by Sinclair. The first call I made was to First Lady Melania Trump, the very first call. I asked if she would help bring awareness to this epidemic by joining me on tour. The First Lady immediately agreed to join the tour. We started at Liberty University. It was packed with 12,000 attendees, students, teachers, family members, community members. The First Lady was amazing. She was gracious, empathetic, and showed true compassion for the disease. The crowd adored her. I went on to DC, then to Asheville, North Carolina. I went on to other cities, Columbus, San Antonio, Seattle, but wherever we went, the calls came in. People just wanted to tell us about the First Lady and how she was inspiring people to get help for their addictions. Then came Las Vegas, and that was a game changer. We were met by a long line of people there to see the First Lady and share their personal story with her. First Lady, Lady M, if I may, you and I were on that stage in Las Vegas. We cried. We opened our hearts. You had the courage to open up about what you talked with your son about with respect to drugs. Calls and texts immediately poured into our stations across the country and to me from parents who were finally encouraged to have that conversation with their own children. First Lady, you've raised awareness about a deadly killer. You've helped lift the stigma, which will save countless of lives going forward. Best of all, you're saving our children, our babies, as young as 10, 11, and 12 years old. We are losing thousands of them. We love them. America thanks you, First Lady. When the history books are written, there should be a special chapter reserved for our First Lady. Many First Ladies have focused on making American life better, and they have. But you, First Lady Melania Trump, have gone one step further and saved lives. In closing, I'd like to say thank you to the First Lady and the First family. I'm honored and proud to have shared a part of your historic first term. And I look forward to continuing your work, our work. You know, God is smart. She or he will continue to shine a bright light on your path through the next 6 years as First Lady. The most important and accomplished First Lady in American history, full stop.
Thank you all for those kind words and for the work you have done and will continue to do to help children succeed and grow. As I said at my campaign launch a year ago, I'm here with one goal, which is to help children reach their full potential so they can grow up happy, healthy, and contribute positively to society and the world. With that goal always in mind, we must continue our work to do what we can to affect positive change for our children. Through character education programs, children can learn the importance of social and self-awareness, positive relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. Once a child understands these vital skills, they will be able to live out the tenets of mutual respect, compassion, and self-esteem, and understand the impact that can be made when all of these values and attributes are made a priority. In fact, we have some people here today who I consider to be absolute examples of what it means to be best. I recently learned about the Jackson family in Minnesota and how the Farmington High School Rouge Robotics team built a personalized and modified power wheelchair for 2-year-old Cillian Jackson when all other options were available. Inspired by Cillian's story, the mother of 5-year-old Rocco Zacco reached out to Rouge Robotics for help. Rocco has a rare form of dwarfism and limited ability. Using plans donated to them by the organization Go Baby Go, the students modified another power car into a motorized wheelchair by rewiring, coding, and programming the chair's electronics, redesigning the joystick, and customized the seat just for Rocco. Over the last few weeks, the team has been hard at work, and I'm happy to say that members of the Farmington High School robotics team and their coach Spencer Elvabach are at the White House with us today to present Rocco and his parents, Kaine and Jeremy, with their new power chair. This is truly what it means to be best. Thank you for what you have done to change the little boy's life. And thank you for being here today. Please. Hello.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you again. Isn't that fantastic? Thank you. Great job. There are the kinds of stories I will continue to highlight with the hope that other students, citizens, and organizations will use their talents and resources to help children. Thank you so much. Beautiful job. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Having a good time. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful.
There we go.
Great job, team. Wow, fantastic.
We're going to bring it back.
Beautiful. In my time as First Lady of the United States, I will continue to make every effort to promote the many successful well-being and character education programs that exist today. I will continue speaking with and learning from leaders in technology industry in order to raise awareness around the importance of safe and positive online behaviors. I will continue to work with those who are fighting the epidemic and stigma of drug addiction. I will continue to travel and speak to children directly about some of the challenges they face every day. I'm committed to visiting more schools, hospitals, organizations, and companies to promote Be Best, and speaking to children around the country and world about their ideas and concerns. I'm also excited to announce my next international trip. Details are still coming together, but we plan to travel this fall, and I'm very much looking forward to it. In closing, I want to again thank all of you for being here today and for the support each of you have given. There is still much work to be done, but when it comes to the next generation of leaders and citizens, I know we all agree that work still needs to be done. If we listen to our kids, whether it's their fears, interests, ideas, or concerns, we can provide them the support and tools they need to thrive. I ask you again to join me in my commitment to promoting values such as encouragement, kindness, compassion, healthy living, online safety, and respect in our children. My hope is that together we can be best at helping children and families find effective ways to educate themselves and become part of the solution to so many problems and issues facing kids today. Let's join together in recommitting to help children dream big, think big, and do all they can to be best in everything they do. Thank you all for being here today. God bless you, your families, our children, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.